We're very close to the end. Squid Game Season 3 is coming soon, and we all want to know who the winners of this great tournament will be. That's why today on Charlietales, we'll analyze all the protagonists, and I'll tell you with arguments and evidence who the finalists of the games will be. Ready? Let's begin. Before starting, I want to mention several important points. On this channel, we've already analyzed the possibility of there being many finalists. In the first season, there were 3, Gi-hun, Sang-woo, and Se-byuk. But in this season, there could be between 4 and 5 finalists. We know this because of this photo revealed in the latest trailers. Here we see the players' dormitory, and there are 3 beds. But in this part on the right, we can't see the rest of the room, so there could be more. In summary, it's possible there will be 5 finalists, and we'll look for them in this video. Obviously, we're not going to mention Gi-hun, since it's obvious that he'll make it to the final. He's the protagonist, and from the trailers, he's been shown in a tuxedo. So Gi-hun will reach the final no matter what. Now let's start with the other characters. Let's start with the pregnant player. For me, it's impossible for her to make it to the final. She has too many limitations. First of all, thanks to the trailers, we know her pregnancy will become complicated starting from the maze game. In this scene, we can see her very weak on the ground, while the elderly player protects her. Luckily for her, player 120 will defend them both, so she could survive this game. But there's no way she could win the jump rope game. For this mission, you need to have great physical stamina. For her, it would be impossible, so she will definitely have to be eliminated here, or the script will find a way to eliminate her before the game. For a long time, many fans have thought she will die, giving birth to her baby. This theory is very feasible, and would prevent us from seeing her die horribly in the rope game. Now let's talk about her ex-boyfriend, the YouTuber player. I do think this character will be a finalist, and now I'll tell you why. He began his story as a despicable guy. He never cared about his ex-girlfriend or his child. However, in Season 2, we saw how he started to change. Little by little, he began to care about his child. His fight against Thanos started to defend his ex-girlfriend. In the Season 3 trailers, we even have a scene where he's encouraging the woman. He tells her they both have to win for their son. It's clear that the series is trying to show us his redemption. If his ex-girlfriend dies somehow, he will do whatever it takes to protect his son. That would be his perfect redemption. With this context, I do dare to think he'll reach the grand finale. He could even be a huge rival for Gi-hun. He wouldn't be on his side, but would have to defeat him to take the prize for his son. Now it's Nam-gyu's turn, Thanos' friend. This character has real chances of reaching the finals. Thanks to the trailers, we know he'll reach the rope game. In this photo, we can see him. The number 124 on his shirt is quite noticeable, so he'll manage to win the keys game and make it to the semi-finals. The real question is if he'll survive here. As a character, he has good chances. He's evil and capable of betraying anyone to win. Let's remember that he stole Thanos' drugs, and thanks to that awakened the darkness within him. That will help him win the keys game easily. And it would also give him an advantage in the finals if he gets there. Personally, I do think he has everything it takes to reach the finals, but he'll die in the semi-finals at the hands of Min-soo. Let's remember there's a pending rivalry between them, but I'll talk about that in the next character. Min-soo. This character began Season 2 as a coward, and anyone would think he'd never make it to the finals. However, there are many clues that give him real chances. Min-soo must avenge his friend, player 380. Let's remember that Thanos' friend eliminated her during the massacre in the dorms. Min-soo feels bad for having abandoned her, and needs to make up for his mistake. In fact, Min-soo already owed her a debt because he betrayed her in the carousel game. The series director didn't set up these events by accident. At some point, Min-soo will do something to atone for his sins. Most likely, he'll have a final showdown with Nam-gyu. According to supposed leaks, Min-soo will steal Nam-gyu's drugs and thus unleash all the darkness he carries inside. Supposedly in this photo, he's hiding the drugs in this hand. With this context, I'm sure Min-soo will eliminate Nam-gyu in the rope game and will thus reach the finals. I believe Min-soo will be one of the finalists along with Gi-hun. Let's talk about player 120. She has everything to reach the finals: physical stamina, intelligence, strategy. But we all know that's not enough to win the games. In the trailers, we haven't seen clues that she'll make it to the final. We only know she'll be present in the keys game, defending her friends. That's a bad sign for her, as she'll constantly put herself at risk. There's no photo or image showing her in the rope game, so it's possible she dies before this challenge. I can't confirm her participation in the final, so we'll say she has a 50% chance. Dae-ho. This is an interesting character. Objectively, he does have real chances of making it to the final. According to leaks, Dae-ho will have an advantage in the jump rope game. Let's remember he grew up with many sisters and spent years playing girls' games with them. That's why he was so talented when he played gongi. Jumping rope was one of the games he practiced as a child. With all this context, it would be logical for him to overcome this test. Let's talk about his character arc. Daeho feels bad for having disappointed his friends during the rebellion. Surely he'll blame himself for Yoongbai's death. Let's remember they were good friends. Daeho will feel very ashamed about this, so he'll do what's necessary to make up for his mistake. The most logical way to do this would be by helping Gi-hun. We don't know what Gi-hun's plan will be to end the games, but surely Daeho will support him, or might even die to protect him. But to achieve this, Daeho must survive the games, so I'm betting on him for the finals. The old woman and her son, I don't think either of them will make it to the final. It seems impossible to me. First of all, in several trailers, we've seen scenes of this woman crying, and everything indicates it will be because of her son. Most likely something will happen to player number 7, and that's why his mother suffers so much. And as for the woman, I find it impossible for her to survive. She's too weak to overcome several tests. In the keys game, she might survive by pure luck, but in the rope game, she'd be doomed. This test requires too much physical strength and endurance. She could never handle something so hard. For me, the most likely thing is that she won't make it past this test. But before ending with them, there's a glimmer of hope. It's possible that Netflix is playing with us, and all these scenes of the woman crying aren't because of her son. Maybe they're because of another player, like the pregnant one, for example. Everyone who sees this scene thinks of her son because it's the most obvious. But maybe Netflix is fooling us. If her son survives, maybe he could reach the finals to avenge his mother. He could even be useful for Gi-hun's new rebellion. With this theory, it's possible that player number 7 reaches the final, but his mother won't make it. That's impossible. In conclusion, for me, the players who will reach the finals will be Gi-hun, Daeho, the YouTuber, Min-soo, and one more player I can't identify, maybe number 007 or the trans player. But of course, these are just my theories. What do you think? That's all for today. If you liked the video, you'd really help me out by leaving a like. That would be legendary. Also, remember to subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for listening. My name is Charlie, and I'll see you in the future.